thank you for being here. Really appreciate having your ears and eyes and time this morning. My name's Justin Flitter. I wear two hats today. Wearing two hats. So I'm well, kind of wearing three hats really. So as a tech marketer of 15, 20 years, been really curious in how artificial intelligence is changing the way that we work and changing business and how we engage with customers. I'm also the chairperson for Tech Marketers Group, and I'm also the founder of NewZealand.Ai. So I'm wearing multiple hats, full transparency, in terms of this initiative. So we're running a series for TMG on AI for marketing, and it's likely that this is, if you're interested, it's likely that we will run these types of webinars on a monthly basis to keep people up to date and informed and showcasing all the new stuff. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Justin.
Nice to see you guys all here. It's fantastic. So I got a whole lot of stuff that we're going to rip through today. I have no idea if we're going to get through this in the next hour or not. If you have a question, feel free to flick your camera on and put up your hand. If you want to jump in and ask a question, you can have cameras on or off. It's totally up to you. Please mute your mics unless you want to jump in and ask a question. I'm totally happy to do that. What I'm going to take you through today is kind of the lunch and learn presentation that I do. It's the AI all hands talk, and we're going to add in a whole lot of flavor around AI for marketers in here. It's a starting point. I want to start off with some foundational knowledge that we share and talk to many New Zealand companies who are starting their AI journey, right? So it's designed to give everyone a bit of a starting point that we can then progress to discuss the next topics as we kind of get deeper into some of this stuff. We founded NewZealand.Ai in 2017. As a marketer, I became really curious around how AI was going to impact and natural language processing was going to impact search. We were starting to talk to devices like Amazon Alexa and Google Home and all these sorts of things, and how we converse with a device, how we ask questions or search for things using voice is very different to the way that we might type out a question. So that was kind of where I got curious and interested, and went to a whole lot of other vendor events around Auckland and met a whole lot of other people like myself and like us who in the professional services space trying to learn about AI. And so we created the AI show, which was the monthly meetup program that we continue to run to this day, and to help business leaders discover the opportunities and the places for AI to thrive within their business, to learn about the capability that we have in New Zealand, both from a people and technology layer to enable this innovation with artificial intelligence, and to discuss some of the key issues, the key challenges that we have across business and society with the rapid rise of AI. And, you know, certainly for the last 50 years, perhaps the last 20, AI has been very much kind of sitting in the research labs. And thanks to OpenAI launching ChatGPT late last year, it's all of a sudden put this technology in front of the general public. You know, my mother can use ChatGPT just the same way as I do, and that's, you know, a staggeringly different proposition for everyone. But ChatGPT is this teensy-weensy little use case in the broad scheme of things around AI. It's incredibly broad in scope. The use cases are typically pretty narrow. And so the challenge with us is always finding the right places for AI to thrive in the right way. In this new era of AI, and we can do this today, every child will have an AI tutor that is patient, compassionate, and knowledgeable. That AI tutor can be by your child's side every step of their development, helping them to maximize their potential. Every business person will have an AI assistant and collaborator that can greatly enhance and expand your potential. Every artist, engineer, every scientist, every doctor, midwife can have the same in their worlds. We can do this now. We will converse with spaces and devices and machines, prompting them to solve or create or do something for us. Scientific breakthroughs and new technologies and medicines will dramatically expand as AI helps us further decode the laws of nature and nurture them for our business. The creative arts will enter a golden age as AI-augmented artists, musicians, writers, and filmmakers gain the ability to realize their visions at greater scale than ever before. But there was one thing that I never thought would get automated by artificial intelligence. I really like going to the hairdresser, going to the barber. It's that one time I can step out of the world in a tech-free environment. And now this Auckland company has infused hair clippers with AI to be able to scan 5,000 different hair points or data points. And so effectively saving a preset of your freshly minted haircut that you can then, of course, months or two later, turn into clipping code and run through to reset to your factory settings. I'm not sure if I'd quite like to use this just yet, but it could be quite handy for the schnauzer to get the hair right for the schnauzer. That could be quite useful, I reckon. So before we go any further, what is artificial intelligence? So AI is machines that can do things previously only humans can do. AI is a field of computer science that aims to create machines that mimic human intelligence. And this could mean learning from experience, understanding complex concepts, recognizing patterns, understanding language, or making decisions. Essentially, AI involves making machines or software that can think and learn like humans, learning being the key element here. Machine learning often underpins a lot of artificial intelligence technology, giving it the ability to improve the more people use it or from increased training data sets. And so we've seen this explosion in AI capability and technology, and it's been driven by a combination of three different factors. So a huge increase in compute power over the last 20 years. Exponential growth in the amount of data and information that we're publishing on the web and that we're creating with devices, mobile phones, IoT devices, and those types of things. Let's see, I'm just going to find the person I need to mute. There we go. There are different types of artificial intelligence. Talked about machine learning being a field of computer science that uses statistical techniques to give computer systems the ability to learn with data without being explicitly programmed. We've also got digital humans. You might be aware of Soul Machines and that created Baby X and is creating digital humans that can see and hear you. They're multimodal. They can respond to your facial expressions and the things that you say. You might have been into a Noel Leeming store and seen Nola, who can guide you around and help you find a product in the particular store. We've got natural language processing and how computers learn language and translation. We've got computer vision, teaching computers how to see everything from facial recognition and CCTV to billboards at traffic lights that spot you driving a 2017 BMW, so serve up an ad with a 2024 EV BMW. It might be NZTA road inspection vehicles driving around instead of the inspector having to stop in particularly precarious situations to take a photo of a pothole or an issue with the road and document that. they can literally drive around with cameras on their vehicles, automatically spotting these defects and documenting them and creating workflow for work to go and get done. We've got robotics, so think Robotics Plus in New Zealand, or that are helping, picking kiwi fruit or sorting apples. Think Tesla manufacturing plants, where these are roles that sometimes we can't find humans to do. Sometimes we don't want humans to do them because they're in dangerous situations. Sometimes it's roles that robots can just do a hell of a lot faster and more efficiently than us. And humans want to be doing other roles anyway. We've got robotic process automation or business process automation that can help automate and streamline some of your back office tasks. Tools that can extract information out of PDFs or other documents, and then database those to be able to create workflow off the back of that into your accounting, into booking engines, into other parts of your business. There's typically 3 reasons why companies want to start leveraging artificial intelligence. They want to increase productivity and effectiveness of the employees that they've got. They want to bridge the skills gap, because we all know that we've got a skill shortage in New Zealand and around the world. We can't find enough skilled people to do some of that high value work that we want to do. So we want to train people up to be able to do that. We want to automate or augment some of the frequent transactional, repeatable process tasks that we need to do. We can use AI for that. And we want to create new experiences to deliver new ways of working or new ways of achieving things that we just couldn't imagine just a few years ago without artificial intelligence. There's a whole lot of kind of common business use cases here. We all know about the customer service one, where we've got chatbots and virtual assistants providing 24/7 support and triaging the frequently asked stress questions that are coming through. And increasingly, those are moving from structured data, which take a lot of time and effort to manage, to being able to create chatbots using unstructured data. So literally creating a library of product marketing PDFs, text files, Word docs, images, videos, links to websites, you name it, all sorts of different data sources. And it's just the large language learning model is able to read and understand all of that information, and then contextualize that for the customer's question and serve them up a response. We've got data and analytics and insights. So, Spark's been, a lot of companies have been building models around customer insights, which might be useful for churn prevention, for personalization, to look at price elasticity and modeling. We're starting to get to personalized marketing, and what I mean is like actually hyper personalization at scale. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Effectively, we're taking machine learning data, the generative creative side of this, and connecting it up to your CRM so that we can input data fields into your videos and produce those at scale to create personalized content. We've got supply chain optimization, where machine learning algorithms are able to reroute packages, especially for things like vaccines, which need to be temperature controlled and have a certain time frame that they need to be delivered in. They can automatically move around and change the mode of transport to get there. We've got a whole lot of work been going on around fraud detection, and of course human resources, where you can use artificial intelligence to collate job applications, to read through and pull out essential information from those job applications to create shortlists, and of course loads more opportunities in that space. We've got AI for lawyers, AI for doctors, AI for accountants. Now we have, the ability to create AI for any particular role, profession, occupation that we want. AI for marketers, absolutely, is what we'll be developing. And then, of course, we've got generative AI platforms like ChatGPT, which launched last year, which have completely changed the game. So ChatGPT is built on a large language learning model. It's a prediction engine. It's learnt by reading and learning from vast amounts of text on the internet. And its job is to convincingly predict the next word in the sentence. That means it can get it wrong sometimes. They hallucinate. They put the wrong words in the wrong places. And so there's always got to be a human in the loop here. And they will get better, right? So I was talking to Adam Cutler, who's an AI designer at IBM in Austin, Texas, who spoke at AI Day a couple of years ago. And he was talking about a new model called retrieval augmentation generation. And that is effectively where there's a checking process. When you give GPT a prompt, it is then going off to a data source, whether it's public or owned, private in your organization, and it's checking for the answers before it goes back through the large language learning model to curate the answer back to you. And so there's a retrieval augmentation to check the contextualization and the accuracy of that, which hopefully does make those tools more accurate. So we're likely to see some things changing there in the next little while. ChatGPT has no persistent memory. That means that it's not necessarily remembers what you did in one chat to the next if you want it, but it will remember things if you keep it in the same chat thread. It'll give you contextualization on there. And ChatGPT doesn't create anything new. How you create things new is that you're layering your intelligence over the top of the outputs from ChatGPT. So no one should be starting a task from scratch. You can always use ChatGPT to give you that head start. There's a human in the loop. You're layering your information on top of it. So we've got text generation. We've got text to image generation. So Midjourney. Hopefully you've all had a chance to play around with Midjourney or DALL-E and experiment with the different prompts that you might want to create your own images or product images. And there is an art to this. This is not easy. You have to learn how to describe the image that you're trying to create. So if you're a photographer or an artist and you understand the different characteristics of a photo, from the ISO to the lens type to the lighting and the staging, it might even be the filters that you want on it. If you can describe those things, then you'll be able to create a really good prompt. And one way, there's certainly there's an app in ChatGPT that you can use to create Midjourney prompts. And so you type in your basic prompt into ChatGPT, and it'll build out that prompt for Midjourney for you. And we're definitely, moving past the old 6 fingers and dodgy elbows with these tools. It's only taken a few months, but we don't really seem to be seeing too much of this stuff at the moment. We're still seeing some weird stuff in video, but generally the text to image generations it's getting pretty good. We're even seeing gaming development. So this is Roblox. They are launching their generative AI, conversational AI gaming engine to 200 odd million users over the next few months. So literally you can describe the interface that or the environment that you want to game in. I think it's pretty staggering.
I am not Morgan Freeman.
Can you let me know
What
if you
you
can't
see
hear
is
this?
not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to...
Okay, so Morgan Freeman, right? So we all understand, we all know deep fakes that gained notoriety over a few years ago. Last year, we saw Ukrainian President Zelensky appearing to tell Ukrainians to lay down arms. Of course, not real. With a bunch of video and audio files, we can now train an AI system to make almost anyone we want say whatever we want them to say. Of course, that leads into bad actors, but as a company trying to produce content at scale, it's hell of a useful. So we can, you can literally get your CEO or whoever is the champion for your product in the market. We can get them in front of a green screen or any background you like, really. We can shoot some video of them talking to camera for 10, 15, 20 minutes. They can talk about whatever they like, doesn't really matter. And then we can put that into an AI system and we can literally write a script. We can voice clone. We might want to use a tool like 11 Labs to create a high quality voice clone. And then we can effectively create as many videos as we want to off that one original shooting. So instead of having to get your actors in every time you want to run you know, a new product marketing video, you can just do it once a year, and then you can just change the script and rerun over and over and over again. But of course, this kind of technology also means that we can bring back actors to perhaps you know, sing songs from a different era.
Been spending most their lives living in the gangster's paradise. Been spending most their lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Yeah, so there we go. There's a whole lot of implications around being able to use voice and things like that. Certainly we're seeing, you know, stories of scammers being able to impersonate family members on calls. And so there's a lot of work going on around protection around that. It's widely viewed that by 2025, companies will be using generative AI tools to produce an estimated 30, 40, 50, 60, a huge amount of marketing content. And you know, perhaps by 2030, AI could be creating blockbuster films using text to video prompts. I think that's going to happen a hell of a lot earlier.
Revolutionized by years of scientific research, we've brought imagination to life. Pocket pets. Miniature companions, from classic pets to dinosaurs, crafted with precision, innovation, and love. These pocket-sized wonders aren't just pets, they're family, perfect for every journey, every memory. Tiny titans bursting with character, ready to spark imagination and joy wherever you go. Join the Pocket Pets revolution, available at exclusive retailers and pocketpets.com. Embrace the extraordinary and ignite the magic of the miniature. Get your pocket.
Okay, team. So this is a text to video generative AI produced fake TVC. It's produced using a platform called Runway ML. Typically 4 to 6 second snippets that they then they're stitching together with voiceover and other elements. Right now, this is getting pretty good. Like that's some relatively convincing, good quality production going on there. And there's a whole lot of video I've seen since this. There's some new ones that I can show as well, which yeah, there's some really good quality. It's getting close, right? It's borderline you know, plausible now that you could be using text to video generative AI platforms to make a TVC or even like a YouTube product marketing video for your business now, with a bit of time and effort. Product marketers absolutely should be using text to image generation to be able to spin out concepts at scale and pace like this Hawaiian style Coke can. I found this, I haven't referenced who did it, but I found this on Twitter. I spent 2 hours trying to replicate this in Midjourney and came nowhere close. There is an art to this, and none more so than the New Zealand marketing mag cover that Steve Ballantyne and the Brand IQ team did a couple of months ago. This would have taken hundreds of hours of reloading and building layers upon layers upon layers to get this coming together, right? This is an art form. Anyone who thinks that the creative industry is somehow going to disappear because everything is becoming AI generated and they're not going to have any work to do is just kidding themselves, right? There is absolutely an art to producing this, and you know, as creators, we just use different tools to produce that content, right? So this is no different. AI is becoming super smart, actually smarter than humans in many tasks, very narrow, finite tasks around that, like image recognition, language understanding, code generation, even. And with that comes some complexities because it's also, you know, magnifying the biases that we have in society.
This is why you should avoid mixing Barbie with biased AI image generators. What does a typical prisoner look like? What about a lawyer, a nurse, a drug dealer? What about a fast food worker, a cleaner, a terrorist, or a CEO? These are all images created by an artificial intelligence image generator called Midjourney, which creates unique images based off of simple word prompts. These AI image generators have exploded in popularity thanks to their impressive results and ease of use. Within a few years, as much as 90% of the images on the internet could be artificially generated. Given that generative AI will have a huge impact in shaping our visual landscape, it's important to understand that the reality it presents can often be distorted, where harmful biases relating to gender, race, age, and skin color can be more exaggerated and more extreme than in the real world. Leonardo Nicoletti and Dina Bass at Bloomberg Technology generated and analyzed more than 5,000 images created by Stable Diffusion. They prompted it to generate portraits of workers in different professions and sorted the images according to skin tone and perceived gender. They found that higher paying professions like CEO, lawyer, and politician were dominated by lighter skin tones, while subjects with darker skin tones were more commonly associated with lower income jobs like...
Okay. So we get the gist of that. There's a 7-minute video. You can watch the whole thing on the website. It's not just reflecting the biases that we have in society, it's magnifying them. So it's really important that when we're training data sets, we're making sure that we have you know, good quality data to be training those algorithms to try and avoid these types of things. Okay, let's get into kind of the next phase, right? So today, many business leaders are starting to look at this rapid rise of AI as marketers. We're seeing all of these new tools come onto the market, but I really want us to step up a level here. As marketers, we're often involved in setting strategy and understanding how every different department within that business is supporting customer and helping to drive growth. So there are loads of little niche little tools and things that we can start doing to plug in AI into different processes that we have within the business. But more than that, we need to be thinking about how we're creating sustainable careers for our employees, and how that plays out to building a more sustainable business in the long term. Next. So to build an AI roadmap, an enablement roadmap, which is what we do, we start off by putting AI at the heart of the things that we're doing. We're looking for the opportunities where types of artificial intelligence may be able to help us augment a workflow or a process that someone's doing, to automate decision making, to create content faster, to reduce cost. We need to become data driven, and data driven means lots of different things. On one hand, it's collecting as much data as we can, as we're allowed to, as we should do, based on the data and the privacy environments that we're working in. And we may not necessarily know what that data is going to be used for yet. We might not have a particular use case for it, but that doesn't mean we may not be worth collecting and storing that data in the right way, so that we can use platforms in the future to unlock that. We need to make sure that our data is really clean. And so then we're looking at what are the tasks that we can augment with artificial intelligence. We're looking at, and we'll talk more about that as we keep going today. We need to grow our human and technical capability. It's really one of the most challenging things about deploying AI tech across an organization. It's not the AI tech, it's the people. And we have to bring everyone along with us. Artificial intelligence often comes with a heightened sense of anxiety around the future of work, and will robots be taking my jobs? And the answer is probably not, certainly not yet. And it's probably not that a robot's going to take your job. It's probably more likely that someone better at using AI than you is going to take your job. And so we need to build sustainable careers, and we need people to understand, have AI skills to help us see the opportunities, to help us implement and execute, and utilize this new tech in the right way. And then we get to automate decision making, where we may well be developing a machine learning model or a generative AI model using the data that's helping to build a decision making engine or a recommendation engine that is unique to our company, and is something that's going to add a lot of value going forward. So today's talk really is to try and get you to think about what the spaces are for AI to thrive within your organization. What are those repeatable processes that your people do day in, day out that are time consuming? You're spending a lot of money to be able to do them. How could we then use different tools to automate that process? And then we're thinking about what are the new experiences that we want to create, either internally for our employees or for customers or partners, that we couldn't imagine or we couldn't achieve a few years ago without artificial intelligence. So to get started, we need to imagine what that experience is. It's all fair and well to be able to define a problem, but we also need to design the outcome. We need to understand the process, and we need to understand the process. We need to understand the data that we have. Is it structured data? Is it unstructured data? Is it good quality, clean data, or does it need some work on it? And then we need to think about how we're provisioning the right solution to help us achieve that. And there may well be some legal considerations that we need in terms of provisioning the right information. We need to know where the data's been stored, how the data's been used, and certainly with the likes of, ChatGPT, a lot of C-suite leaders are seeing their employees using ChatGPT in the workplace, and they're using personal accounts because that's what they have available. And so any information that's been shared or created in those personal accounts sits outside of the company tech stack. It's not being collected to be able to add value or be used in the future. So it leads us into thinking about how we build enterprise grade solutions, how we're building ChatGPT within our own tech stack. And yeah, so there's third party. We might want to have a list of pre-approved tools that people can use. We might want some guidelines around how those tools are to be used, some do's and don'ts, versus an enterprise grade solution where whatever is shared within that solution stays within your tech stack. It's not been shared with ChatGPT or been used to train anyone else's algorithms. Aura, Auckland company, so they help retailers with security. So they have developed their responsible tech and AI framework. It's a free download package that you can access. We've got it on NewZealand.Ai website, or you can go straight to them. They've built out this lean canvas to help you make sure that you're following responsible AI protocols around building it, to sort of share this. Really useful. Segue in, having a quick drink. 2. This is a really common use case for businesses thinking about or figuring out how they activate some AI across their business relatively quickly. And this is about unlocking company insights. At the moment, you've got data siloed right across your organization, whether it's financial information in Xero, Salesforce, customer and information in Salesforce or HubSpot. You might have Zendesk doing customer support. You've got Microsoft 365 and SharePoint for all your files. You've got Microsoft Teams. You've got all sorts of different data sources. And with generative AI and conversational AI, we can stitch all of those together in a platform to be able to ask questions, to have conversations with all of those different data sets, to create insights that would otherwise take many hours to put together. We may even be able to use generative AI to create a new RFP response based on ones that we've previously done. We could use it to create marketing content. We could use it so all sorts of different use cases around this. And then another use case would be to be able to build prompt libraries or automations off the back of the ability to listen and listen to the data sets across all of these different platforms. So there might be tasks that you regularly do. You might want to create a blog writing prompt that's pre-formatted with the personalization and the tone and the structure and the step-by-step process that you want that task to be done, which again is short shifting that work for your content producers. Instead of starting from scratch, no one should be starting from scratch with generative AI. Instead of starting, they can run that prompt, and they're getting asked what that topic is, who the audience is. It's going away and doing the research. It's coming back to you with referenced articles and insights that you can it's used within that blog post. It's written it in the tone, style, and voice of your brand. And then you've got your human in the loop to tweak, to adjust that, to give it contextualization that a AI system isn't necessarily going to do. These are use cases. These are a couple of common use cases that we're seeing, that we're deploying into companies around New Zealand now to unlock that data. What are some of the other examples? Vulcan Steel. This one's from a few years ago, but I really like it. They put cameras on the back of their flatbed trucks so they could identify their workers loading and offloading steel, making sure they're wearing hard hats and high-vis vests. Imager, another Auckland company, Will Chomley, so effectively created a machine learning algorithm where it could identify tens of thousands of different supermarket products, and it's just a checkout replacement tool. You've got a mobile app, it's scanning the products going in and out of your cart or your basket to make that process much more seamless and frictionless. Holter, of course, many of you will be familiar with this. Holter never set out to be an AI company or to use AI to solve a problem. They set out to help farmers be more effective, be more efficient, reduce costs, and ended up making a wearable for cows that was infused with artificial intelligence to help them move animals, great fenceless farms, and to help track their health and well-being, to be able to tell if a cow was on heat or perhaps lame or injured. It can help that animal out. Maui 63, they built this $250,000 drone. We had an AI show, would have been a few years ago now, where they actually bought this in, or one in. So this flies between Raglan and Piha out to 50 kilometers. It's tracking Maui and Hector's dolphins. It's scanning and identifying them. It's notifying fishing trawlers of where those dolphins are. And it's also monitoring how close the dolphins get to land, because it's the cat piss that flows off the hills that causes the toxoplasmosis in the dolphins. So hugely important piece of work. Reword, here's a really good one for your writers and content producers. This one connects in with your website, with Google Search Console, with analytics, and it helps you understand what content on your website people are engaging with, and then helps predict, helps suggest topics and articles, and gives you reference articles and content to be able to start building out your new blog posts. We've got heaps of tools for recording, transcribing, creating workflows off your meetings. Descript I use almost every week, certainly with TMG, to upload podcast or video webinar files to streamline the editing process. I don't use it nearly enough, but it's darn cheap and it's highly effective. So I really encourage people to check that out. We've talked a lot at TMG exec team about hyper-personalization at scale as something that AI is enabling us to achieve. So I want to talk a little bit about this. We've got 10 minutes left. These are just two of probably many different tools that you could use. The scenario here is, if you think about doing your email automation, right? And you've got in your email automation, you've got these syntaxes that are pulling information out of your CRM and dropping them in the email for personalization. So you've got hi, brackets, first name, brackets. And so it's pulling in content from CRM to create personalized environments. You can do exactly the same, but in video. So I might record a video and it might be hi Alex, hi first name, it's Justin here from TMG. Thanks for joining the community. Here's the value that you can get out of being a part of TMG. You can come to great webinars like this and many more that we've been running. Okay, right, so we run a video. We're putting that placeholder, hi first name, and we're connecting our CRM into the platform, which is automatically injecting and replacing, when I say hi first name, it's replacing it with hi Caroline or hi Alex or whatever the name is. And so we're able to create an AI clone of that video. We can clone the voice using 11 Labs or any other tool, so that we're then effectively just creating a script. We've got one recorded video library and we're creating scripts that we can then run at scale to different audiences or into different channels. Be Human is really good for LinkedIn engagement. If you want to send a new follower or a new connection, a little introduction video about who you are and what you're doing, then you can personalize that at scale. Mozzie, got it. So have a look at some of those. No doubt there are plenty more, but those are the ones that I've been playing around with recently. We've got time. I'm gonna share this with you. This is the Super Coach ChatGPT prompt. So part of the work that we've been doing with NewZealand.Ai is we've been running a whole program of webinars and workshops with the Employers and Manufacturers Association over the last 3 months. And one of the ChatGPT workshop we did about a month ago, we had 1,200 people on the call. And we shared the Super Coach prompt, and we got huge amounts of feedback on it. People enjoyed it, so we're going to give you some scope around it. Feel free to ping me afterwards, although when we publish the recording of the session, I'll paste the this prompt, all the different sections of this prompt together in that blog post, so you can use it there. So we've got to assign the role, give ChatGPT the perspective that we want it to bring. So here's my prompt. Act as a highly experienced marketer who specializes in working in B2B software and professional services businesses from around New Zealand growing globally. Scope, perspective. Set context and define the task. You will become my coach and mentor, helping me become better in my role, challenging me to think outside the box, use data-driven decision-making, and world-class strategic frameworks to guide my methodology. When I come and say, whatever your key word is, you'll ask me what I'm working on today and where my roadblocks are. And you'll continue to ask questions to help me work through and find a solution. Define the format and the response. I only have 15 minutes to do this. Keep your suggestions to the point. Make sure you give me feedback, suggestions, and next steps to work on. What is the outcome? In 6 months, I want to apply for the CMO position in my company. So you'll help me lift my game, developing the skills and confidence I need to be in that role. Understood. I've done one, actually, this is a little video snippet for an HR manager. It said, we're losing employees to other companies offering better career progression. That's the challenge. Our retention, it says, internal surveys. What programs we recommend we set up to ensure employees see a career pathway with us? It suggests career roadmap workshops. So I then ask it to come up with an outline for a career roadmap workshop, of which it does. No one starts a task from scratch. This is a starting point here that you can build on top of. The beauty of this is it's one chat thread that you then come back to multiple times every day with a different challenge or a different problem. So it's building up some of the memory of the things that you're doing, and it's able to help you work through this. And you can use this prompt as part of the customizations, the personalizations, and the settings if you wanted to. But that kind of impacts having multiple different chat threads doing different tasks and different activities and things like that. So I've just got it in one particular chat thread. That's what I wanted to run through today. There is so much to share with you, and that's, we've been learning as we're practically doing this with companies across New Zealand. And the executive session I had this morning, it has been led by marketing. Hyper-personalization at scale is the core of the value proposition for them, both at a employee level when they're talking to customers, but also as a demand gen, acquisition, upsell, retention model for their engagement. And this is a B2C and B2B company, actually. So really, really exciting times. We're going to be running these relatively, well, I should just make a commitment, shouldn't we? We're going to be doing these monthly, and we're going to keep upskilling and keep informing and having discussions. We'll bring in different companies to share some of the capability with you, so that you can be atop on the different ways of working. But I just wanted to set the stage with this as hopefully a foundation of what artificial intelligence is, some of the different use cases and the things to consider, and get our minds thinking in a strategic way rather than how are we just using it in marketing. This is actually about at an organizational level, how are we collecting, managing the data that we've got, and what are the outcomes that we want to create, because we've got to bring the company along with us as well.